pro bowler. I'll tell you, we put on a fine performance last week against a man who's, as I said, been equal to the task in two prior games today, Kerry Logan. Looking at Greg Lothian, very angular, at 21 years old. Carries a 221 average.
Does he strap the ball or what? Did he pull that ball or what? Sam, I tell you what, here we are, we're talking about how firm he is right before we come on the air and how well he throws the ball. And there, right here, we can just see it. He doesn't get that good, hard follow-through we're used to seeing. He kind of babies the ball, and he gets the appropriate reaction, crossing over. He was lucky to break up the split.
Yeah, he had a little pull.
Got an upside downer, but it doesn't count.
And the Lothian family, as they were last week in the Pin House over in St. Bernard,
yeah.
in full regalia and making enough noise for 5 families over there.
Well, our
Good
score
support.
markers, Mike Ackerman over there and Greg Lothian, they both work for the ball shop in Stones Lanes over there for Tom Murphy.
Look at this.
Sandwich from both sides.
What an incredible shot. What was going to be a solid 8-pin turns into a strike. Now let's watch the ball here. It's going to actually drive to the right of the 8-pin. Right there. Now you see the 8-pin standing, and what's coming off the wall? It's the head pin. Said, see you later.
Second frame. Mr. Logan.
Oh, no. Incredible. We almost had it the first frame. We've got it the second frame. Solid 8.
Well, we got a Northern Kentucky distributor over here. Cy Sikowski's our distributor over here for that golden Hudepohl.
And Ludwig,
yeah.
Ludwig von Bach. He only has to make the front pin, folks, the back pin.
And he made both of them. Kerry Logan goes above and beyond the call of duty to finally wipe out that pin. What was it, dangling in the back, balancing on the tip of its nose?
Yeah.
Well, in the back, to the folks that have never been in the back of a bowling establishment and watched these incredible machines work, it's actually a shaker pad which just vibrates, and the pins then make their way to the back and are scooped up on a wheel. That particular pin was not about to be vibrated anywhere.
My question is, what were you doing in the back of a bowling alley? But I don't want to hear it. Not right now. Greg Lothian, second frame, having trouble with some pinfall today.
2, 4, 5, 8 for the bucket. Bad count.
Well, Kerry's got 20 with a spare, and Greg just got a 6 count, get the old dinner bucket, or the quick 6 there for 16 and a first. This isn't too easy of a spare either.
You always have the possibility of chopping the 5-pin. Except when you throw it perfect.
When you hit them like that, possibility is that they'll all fall.
We've got a few proprietors here. Tom Murphy, the president, Pete Page here from Stones, and Jimmy Lyles from Kingpin, with Jerry Bettinghouse from Cross Gate. And they also have Doug Martin here from Super Bowl, where they're going to have the pro thing, we hope, next August.
Keeping our fingers crossed on that, Sam.
Well, certainly.
That was a nice payoff Mike Albee had yesterday. Indy's Mike Albee. $45,000.
Shake it off.
We used to bowl for $2,500.
I used to bowl for 25.
Oh.
Greg Lothian, incredible.
He's having road trouble.
In warm-ups, he was comfortable with the shot. He was trusting the ball, sending it to the right, getting the good action coming back. Now he looks completely lost. Shooting for the 6-10, cross lane.
No doubt about that one.
Well, one thing, David, that he's carrying the ball a little long on his first step, so it makes him have sort of a pull shot.
Inconsistency in your game will kill you. You've got, I don't care what you do or how ugly or good it looks, if you don't do it the same way every time, you're not going to wind up in the pocket every time. Must have done something right that time, huh? Perfect.
Certainly. Perfect.
Take a look at it here. Just another mundane, ho-ho perfect strike for Kerry Logan. He's getting a little excited. That's about as much as excitement as you'll ever see out of Kerry Logan right there. He kind of stoops down and pulls his arm back.
I guess Logan not flashy, but just he'll beat you with consistency, Dave.
That's right. He's effective, not flashy.
No help at all on the 7-pin.
He's a little confused as to what to do, too. I've watched him. He's moved his feet a little bit. He's changed his angle, trying to get the 7-pin out. And at least to this frame, he's not found anything that will comfortably work.
Well, Kerry's got 40 in a strike up, and Mick Desperry will have 60, and Greg got 34 in a spare. So they got to go to work.
6-pin advantage for Kerry Logan. Greg Lothian knows that he's not out of the match by any means, but judging from the first 3 frames, he better find something in a hurry.
That's right. Well, they're qualifying at Loveland today yet. Still, they start at 9, 10:30, 12, 1, 1:30, and 3. And then next week they go to Hyde's Lanes.
We'll be up there next week at Loveland. Maybe we could bring some Luck of the Irish to...
Me devil, me boy?
Oh.
Yeah.
Huh?
Dave's so intrigued with Lothian style.
Look at
Oh, that could be the turnaround. You just need one ball like that, Dave.
That's exactly right, Tom. It'll loosen you up. It'll free up your arm swing. And let's take a look at it here on the replay. This is going to get you started. These pins are going to be dancing everywhere. The ball enters the pocket, throws the head pin to the wall. It comes off, actually hits the 4-pin, but the 4-pin is a little reluctant in going down.
Although compared to some of the strikes that we've seen Lothian blow off last week, that was mild. Let's see if he's found the touch now. Concentration certainly is there.
Solid 4, but I tell you, it's encouraging to him and to everyone else that's rooting for him to see him hit the pocket now solidly. Next frame, Kerry Logan knows that Greg Lothian's lined up, and he better get on to striking.
We had Greg Carpenter on last week. He shot that record 865 over at Stones, and Greg's acquainted with that place. Oh.
Mentioning 800 series, Kerry Logan, this man right here has an 820 series to his credit, along with 3 300 games.
Yeah, he's a good performer, I'll tell you.
Yeah, you know, Carolyn Hoffman, who you interviewed before, she's just a gorgeous lady and a super bowler, 1983-84 City All Events champ. We want to see the ladies come on out and get a lady on the King show here. Kerry Logan did not falter in his delivery, 80 in the 4th frame, still maintains that 6-pin lead.
As we spoke with Caroline earlier, she on last Saturday was one of the high qualifiers, and we almost saw our first lady competing against the guys head-to-head. And I have a feeling, Dave, the way they bowl, it's not going to be long before we see that.
It would be nice. Now, poor Kerry. He's tried something else to get out the 7-pin. He went with a little more speed. The ball skidded out, did not quite finish, leaving a stone 5.
Well, you was talking about Caroline before. She had 667, which is not too bad, I'll tell you.
Not too dusty, right, Sam?
No.
The 5-pin is history.
Yeah, what's a contest yet? Well, in the 5th frame, Kerry has 100 even. He's got a Dutch 200 going, and Greg's on 74 and a spare, so they got to start throwing some more X's here. Right now is the time for Greg to get going. The last 2 balls, he's thrown super.
6th frame, Greg Lothian, 21-year-old professional bowler.
Now we're going to see some emotion.
He knew it.
Does he want it? You bet he does.
Well, this is the area where they used to have that famous Bubenhofer team used to bowl. Joe Rackers, Joe Burley, Frank Schreiber, and Johnny Mendel, and Marshall Dodd. Look at the replay. Look at that.
Absolutely perfect.
And the reaction.
Greg Lothian now 6 pins down with this strike. Could take a 4-pin lead.
This is probably a must strike here.
taking a little extra time. He knows it's a big one. Getting a last-minute break there and only leaving the 2-pin. He had for a moment the 2, 4, 8, which would be a lot more difficult than just the 2. We can watch it here. The head pin, center your screen, going to the wall, kicking back off, taking the 4 and the 8-pin out. Greg not happy.
And the reaction.
No, a little bit around with it.
So we go to the 7th frame. Kerry Logan knows what he has to do. It's interesting in the contrast of styles. Lothian, as you were saying before, is much more active when he gets up there, much more reactionary, where Logan just pretty much lays back.
I could be really cruel and point out something that, like, maybe Kerry's older and
more mature.
That's right, more mature. And
well,
Kerry's 32 and Greg's 21.
The
Good golly, Miss Molly or something.
You cross the 30 barrier, Sam. I guess you turn your face into a stoic looking, a much more mature, unlike Dave Newrath, who's still 29 and holding.
or somewhere in there.
Somewhere in there. A 7-pin is history.
But, you know, Kerry's always been that way. It's funny how a man's personality or a woman's personality will show up in the type of game they have. If they're basically a laid-back sort of person, you can see the laid-back approach. Greg Lothian, much more aggressive, firmer. That exemplifies both of their personalities to the T.
The interesting part about it all is that you would think by Logan's reaction that he is not in the game, when in fact it is very close, very close. A little bit of a reaction there.
5 pins.
How about that?
Get a chance to see his reaction.
No,
Because, do you know why? Because we have one of the best directors on both sides of the Mississippi, Calvin Washington, and this great crew here at Channel 5,
doing
providing
a good
the
job.
pictures
Doing
every
a good
week,
job.
week in, week out.
We're out in Randy Schreiber's neighborhood right now in Highland Heights, Kentucky. Now we have Greg Lothian's uncles here, Jim Duchemin.
We've got everybody here today.
Everybody's here today. They're coming up out of the floorboards today.
Saw Marshall Holman over there, Dick Weber, and they're just filing in.
Just happened to be passing through.
That's true.
Greg Lothian cutting straight through the hard tom. It was a critical shot for Greg. 8th frame, turning point. His opponent with a strike up. Knows he needed it, and he did not throw a good shot at all. 3-6-10, not an easy spare. But at this point in the match, we better see him bring it back, or it could be tough.
Oh, just totally missed the 3.
At this point in the match, there's nothing else to say other than if Greg Lothian doesn't throw 4 strikes right here, he cannot count on coming back for another $750 check next week. Got to have him.
He's got to throw him here all the way out for 206, and I don't think that's going to get it.
Get up!
Well, there's one of 4, Dave. So far, in the 7 weeks, we have not seen a bowler like Logan win all 3 games and become king.
It's going to be tough.
It is. Here goes Kerry right now.
Right lane. Look out. Don't go to the refrigerator yet.
Nope.
I think we put the whammy on him. Same thing that happened to Rick Pollard back in Durban Bowl in week 5. Took out Ron Hunt, Rick Hensley, and then lost to Ray Tucky Perez. And here's Logan.
What a turnaround, Tom. He had been hitting the 4th board, 5th board. That ball, 7th board, going straight through the heart, 4-6-10. Should take 2 pins.
And does.
Has this changed the complexion
It's a
of things?
contest right now.
Greg Lothian must feel he's been leading a good life in order to get a break like this.
Well, I'll tell you what it's done, Tom. If Greg Lothian throws the first strike in the 10th, he takes the lead. Kerry Logan, in order to force Greg to throw 2, better start striking. There's 1. at this point in the match, he can force Greg Lothian to take it to the wall to win, but he's got to have this one.
Type of match doesn't have the luster of a Lothian Carpenter match, but nevertheless, it has all the closeness and nail-biting potential that you could ever want in a match.
Well, the situation's this, Tom. One more strike. Kerry Logan will finish with 197. Greg Lothian would have to throw the first 2 and an 8 count to win by a pin.
How about that? 3 straight for Kerry Logan to go out with 197.
Let's set it up. Last frame on this lane, a critical opportunity. Greg faltered, threw the ball right through the nose. Now, he has to have 2 strikes and 8 to win. We're going to watch his reaction, and we're going to watch the pins. You can bet he's going to put everything he has into this shot. The same thing that Tucky needed. Strike, left a 4-pin, slapping the approach in a little frustration. Kerry Logan.
He did it. Becomes the first man to go through all 3 games and become the king.
Wow. Greg Lothian, watch it here on the replay. He throws a pretty good shot. A little high into the pocket, ball driving off sharply, leaving a 4-pin, but
he thought he had it too.
It was close. It was definitely in the area. Making no difference.
No. So we have a new king, Dave Newrath and Sam Coleman, for week number 7. That man is Kerry Logan. He defeats that man right there, Greg Lothian, who spent a week at the top. When we come back on Channel 5, BPA King of Bowling, we will present all the checks to all the bowlers for week number 7.
At Hudepohl, we have